All right, guys, we are live. It's episode 243 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Jennifer Seymour joining me. What's going on, Jen?
Hey, everybody.
Nikki Clevenger's back in the house. What's going on, Nikki?
Hey, guys.
And guest and star of the hour, David Cooper. He knows a few things about diamonds. All right.
Hey, yo.
What's going on? What's going on, Dave?
Not much. Just relaxing after a long day of hunting and working, and back to hunting and seeing a lot of nothing.
There you go. Got some show sponsors here. We're going to talk a lot about not only obviously competitive shooting stuff we always talk about, a little bit about some diamonds. Jen owns a pair of those. But we're going to get into the show sponsors here. Show sponsors the folks over at Tactical Shit, all right? Shop.tacticalshit.com, all right? They got a lot of Black Friday deals going on right now, especially for the folks over at Tactical Shit. So head over to the website. Check it out. Better than our coupon codes that we can offer right now. I don't know if they work in collaboration, but it's worth a try. I will just put that out there right now. TSM10 for 10% off Tactical Shit. All right, that might be added on to the Black Friday specials too, so take advantage. If they screwed it up and didn't take it away and it goes on top of it, take advantage, all right? Folks over at GSL Technologies, the world's finest suppressors, check out gsltechnologies.com for your suppressor needs. All right, if you want to get any questions in live, if you're watching on the YouTube side of things, top right-hand corner, join the conversation. Get your questions in. We'll get them over to Dave throughout the show. All right, if you're watching on if you want to use the Facebook thing, head over to Shooter's Mindset on Facebook. There's a recent post that just went up. You can put your question in the comment section below there, and we'll grab it and get it out. Obviously, the shootersmindset.com to keep up with all your Shooter's Mindset show needs. We also have the shop, the blog, some training info. You can all find that stuff at theshootersmindset.com. All right. All right, let's jump into it here. David, for those who aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit more about yourself, how you got into shooting and competitive shooting.
Well, it was it just all kind of fell into place. Before I lived in Long Island for most of my life, between Long Island and Queens and Manhattan. And then I moved out to Tennessee in May of 2014. Right before I moved out, I had just started kind of shooting, ARs, and I always carried a pistol for work. I was one of the rare guys that had a concealed permit in Long Island, which, believe it or not, just to get a range permit for a pistol was 18 months. So just to have that was a big deal. And then met a few people, and I shot a bolt gun, which I don't even know what a bolt gun was. I didn't grow up with firearms, or it was a very foreign thing. And so the first time I ever shot a rifle at 200 yards, both rounds were touching, and the guy looked at me and he's like, "Have you done this before?" And I said, "Not before today." And he's like, "Well, you should probably stick to it." And it was dumb luck. I ended up buying a used Remington 700. And before I moved to Tennessee, I was introduced through a buddy who I was doing counter surveillance training. Because for work with diamonds, we tend to get robbed a bit. So I used to do a bit of counter surveillance training on how to at least try to control the attack cycle or limit your exposure. And they introduced me to a gunsmith in Georgia who first I just intended on getting my receiver trued or blueprinted. And I didn't even know what that meant at the time, but that turned into a full custom build 308. And it just kind of started from there. And I don't golf, so this was kind of my thing. And after moving to Tennessee, where I started working with Genesis Diamonds, my family remained in New York, so every Sunday I'd go down to this range called Strategic Edge, which is down in Chapel Hill, Tennessee. It's an amazing place if you're anywhere near. It's about 45 minutes, I guess, south of Nashville. And met a group of people, and they showed me some things, taught me a bunch, and I would spend every week there just shooting. And I can't even picture how the hell I banged away 300 rounds of 308 every weekend.
Damn.
But it was a lot. But that was it. That was just what I did. And then eventually it just got to the point where I was getting pretty consistent, shooting prone. I didn't know anything aside from prone. And I don't even know how. I found a post about a match. It was a PTS match thrown by Ryan Castle and Scott Satterley. down in Cookeville. And that was in August of 2014. And I rolled up to the match with my 308, a magazine, and a plastic bag of ammo, and a sock filled with rice. And
hell yeah,
that was a major learning experience. I came in 8th place though, from last, and that was really humbling. But I met a few people at that match. Most notably, I met Corey West, who took some time out, and I couldn't even pull the trigger. He actually showed me how to pull a trigger, and took some time to work with me. And met the guys from OTM, who I didn't even know at that time. I don't even know if OTM was a thing, but they hooked me up. And at the end of the day, I ripped the rim off of one of the cases. I was reloading Federal brass from my 308. This soft was soft like butter, and ripped the rim off on my last stage. And Matt Perry helped me fix my rifle. And I didn't know any of these guys from Adam, but they, were incredibly helpful, made me feel welcome. And I was completely hooked, and that's kind of how it started. And then now it's a little over 4 years later, and this is where
all
I'm
history.
at.
All history now.
It's a lot of history, but when I look back in perspective, how many years I wasted of my life in New York not doing this is kind of frustrating.
Yeah, man. Do you still have that bag full of rice? Because that might be worth something nowadays.
No, I'm pretty sure it rotted at some point after getting wet.
Yeah, that Jen, you started similar. 308 bolt gun. Well, yeah, you had a gas gun.
Mm-hmm.
But you did come in with some real quality gear though.
The first match I didn't have. I think I borrowed a rear bag, and I think I had one game changer. And other than that, I borrowed from everyone else at Gap Grind. So,
well, that was the key. Is that everyone kind of jumped in, and back then I remember I borrowed a pump pillow from Mark Rossett and his buddy Benji, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. So that was the first bag I ever got, but it was the fact that everyone was just allowed you to use everything, showed you wanted to share the sport. It was, I had never encountered anything like that before. It was nice.
I'll say even now, I have a fortune cookie and a pump pillow. I have some good gear. I have a game changer. But like even at TPRC that I just went to, I didn't know those guys I'd never met them, had no clue. It wasn't like they were my buddies. But they, there were like 4 or 5 stages I didn't use my own gear because they're like, here, try this. This will be really good. It fits in here really good. And I was like, all right, sure, I'll try it. And I ended up using their stuff on 25% of the stages. It's just everybody is like that. Well,
I went through a phase where I carried a bag full of bags. Now I shoot everything with my game changer. Everything with my pint-sized game changer from Armageddon. It's lightened up my pack substantially, but that's the only thing I need. It's shocking how amazing that thing is.
Well, Nikki, it's been a while since we had you on the show here. Anything new with you, shooting-wise, or anything going on with you?
Not really. Keith is working a lot, and I got into the sport to shoot to spend more time with him. So when he can't leave the county to go shoot, not really a lot to talk about. Oh, but I do know this. I won my first High Lady trophy.
Yay!
In a falling steel match. It's a charity match for officers that were injured in the line of duty. And last year I really wanted to win, and I came in second to an open shooter by 1 plate. So this year Heath did not go with me. I shot this match completely by myself, and I came in High Lady. And I beat the open girl by like 4 or 5 plates this time. So
nice.
First
with a limited, with your limited gun, or your 9mm SPS, right?
My SPS. I don't know the limited. She had an optic and I didn't.
Yeah, hear that? The irons beat the optic.
But when they do High Ladies and stuff like that, they don't break it up by division. So you're either High Lady with what you got or you're not.
Digging it. I'll be bragging about that shit all day. Hey, open shooter ain't got nothing on me. You know, yeah, that's a
But
big
other
deal.
than
I
that,
mean,
just hanging out here, trying to be supportive of him and what he's doing, and holding down the home front.
well, sweet. Congrats on the
Pretty
High Lady
boring.
Trophy.
Pretty
That's awesome.
boring. With my one High Lady trophy, yes.
Well, at a good match though, at a benefit match, you know.
Yeah,
So
something
that's
I've
pretty.
never really done. Falling steel. That's the only time I really shoot falling steel, because I always try to rush things when that buzzer goes off. I just want to go fast, and you need to just focus on hitting plates and moving on, and not trying to clear everything. So it's definitely a different mental game.
I've always wanted to try one of those. I think they'd be fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's
I think you'd be a lot better at it than me, because I was still in that 3-gun mindset where it was like you need to hit everything before you move on.
so
And
they had a set time that you had to complete the stage in, right? Like 30 seconds, shoot as many plays. Yeah.
Shoot as many plays as you can within a set amount of time.
Right.
And in 3-gun, it's like I need to shoot everything at this position before I can move to the next position. And sometimes with falling steel, like you only can have like 10 rounds in the gun and 1 in the chamber, so you need to shoot 10 and go ahead and load and move. And even if you didn't hit all the plates you wanted to hit, and couldn't get out of that 3-gun mindset the first time.
Yeah, Jen, well, there's a very fun match, the Pro-Am Steel Challenge match. They had it in Georgia, I think earlier on this year. A lot of fun. Just falling steel. I mean, everybody's, you're resetting. There's really no pacing. Just everybody got to reset steel. It flows real smooth. It goes fast because there's a par time, whether you shoot them all or you don't. It just goes by how many plates you shot. So if you haven't shot this match, you should. I mean, they do separate it.
Shoot it twice. Like some people will shoot it limited in the morning, and then they'll shoot open in the afternoon or something like that. Like
absolutely.
Yeah,
you can shoot it in rimfire, open, and production limited. So you can shoot all 3 guns if you want. So it's usually like a 3-day event. And then like if you place high, you get like master, grand, steel if you do well in all 3 other positions. So yeah, all 3 of the guns. So good match, and hopefully it's in that area again. It's usually in Florida or Georgia, so we'll try to hit it if it comes around. Tyler Reed says, David, what flavor ice cream has the highest BC?
Straight up chocolate.
Straight up? Is it any brand preferred, or is just like the cheapest? There it is.
Haagen-Dazs. It's the burger.
There it is. Haagen-Dazs straight up chocolate is the pro tip. What else we got here? Any more live questions that sneak in? Please remember, if you're just tuning in, you guys can submit those on the YouTube side or the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. Get them in. We enjoy those. They really make the show go along.
I don't have any questions yet, but Nathan Livingston has tagged Matt Steiner like 15 times on them just to make sure he sees it. So
good.
Y'all send your questions now.
There we go. But otherwise, man, how did you get into diamonds? Tell us a little bit more about Genesis Diamonds.
Well,
what kind of things do you have available?
Well, I mean, I've been in the industry since I'm 2. I literally grew up on 47th Street in the Diamond District in Manhattan. My father had and still has a manufacturing company where we designed engagement rings and all sorts of jewelry. And I worked with him as far back as I can remember. We ran a factory in New York as well as a factory overseas in Thailand. So I bounced back and forth quite a bit. Had customers all over the country. I've been to virtually every state numerous times. I've been working with my partner in Genesis Diamonds over 25 years. He was actually a customer of mine. So I partnered with Genesis in May of 2014. And basically Genesis, we are direct diamond importers. Genesis has been importing for over 35 years. We have trading offices in Tel Aviv and Mumbai, Antwerp, and Hong Kong. What's unique about what we do is a lot of stores will say, oh, we're direct importers and blah, blah, blah. Please, they're not direct importers. Basically what they do is they call people like ourselves wholesalers, and they get diamonds on memo. We actually own our inventory. We maintain a massive inventory. It's the largest inventory in the tri-state area where I am of GI certified diamonds. And what that does is, it's like, imagine you're going to buy an action, right? So it's like you're buying the action direct from Impact versus a reseller. buying direct from the person that manufactures, you're going to get not only a better experience, but you're dealing with someone who's more knowledgeable, has more access. It's just a better value overall for the consumer. So what Genesis is we're direct importers, and we import anywhere from a third of a carat up to 15 carat stones. We maintain an inventory of, I think it's about 7,000 stones currently. It fluctuates. And what's different is, you know, we're a volume-based business. It's not about how much we can sell each individual diamond for. We enjoy selling a lot of diamonds to a lot of people, because in order to maintain our wholesaler status, you have to sell a lot of diamonds. So I really enjoy buying, you know, even more than selling. But what's really cool is we have stores in 3 different states. We have 2 stores in Tennessee, 1 store in Kentucky, and my store in Cincinnati, Ohio. And what's nice is we get to really get to know our customers and be involved in people's story. You know, one thing about an engagement ring is it's not like a product like you buy. You know, it's not a T-shirt. This is somebody's life story. This is somebody's, you know, it's a lifelong commitment, and to be involved in that, and for people to allow us to be involved in that, it's really special. It's pretty cool. I like being involved, and you know, getting to know the customers. And I mean, in our short time, we've been open in Cincinnati. Actually, we just celebrated our 4th year, November 10th, but like over 11,400 customers so far. So it's pretty awesome.
Why is this important, right? Why does this involve shooter's mindset, right? Because David sponsors a lot of matches, which is straight diamonds, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's look, it's like anything. You know, when you find something that you're passionate about, you want to kind of bring as much as you can and contribute as much as you can to the sport. And you know, when you walk a prize table, yeah, of course you've got rifles and you know, barrels and lots of stuff, and you know, and stickers and all that good stuff. But the reality is that I wanted to do something that no one else brought an angle of something outside of the sport. Okay, and especially to the women shooters, the women ROs, and the wives and girlfriends, any significant other who's home. Shooting is an incredibly selfish sport. Let's be real. You spend your time reloading. You spend your time away from your family, away from everyone, doing what you love. So this is just one way to kind of give back and make it more of a, I would say, global involvement. But I also don't involve myself with you know, every match. I really like to work with specific match directors, specific facilities, who I think really get it. First of all, it's an honor to be able to contribute to the PRS, not just an honor to be able to shoot in PRS and have the freedom to do so, but I love the opportunity to give back to a different angle, you know, and it means a lot. I mean, it's nice, you know, and I would love to see more involvement from other sponsors outside of just specifically shooting sports. Our sport's growing, and there's real opportunity for exposure for these people.
Yeah, Jen won some, right, at the recent match, right? That's awesome.
That's what I was about to say. I was totally excited. Like, I even joked with you in the parking lot, maybe I'll win some diamonds. Totally. I never win. Like, I don't win drawings. I don't win raffles. I just don't. I just never do. And I had probably the worst match I've ever had in my entire life because my barrel shot out and I couldn't hit anything after the 2nd stage. And so it was bad. Stage 1 and 2 were great, and then it just tanked after that. And then when I borrowed a gun day 2, it got a little better. But it was just it was a hard match for me, and it was the first time I had to be a pro shooter, which I call it pro-ish. So I had an amateur with me that I was trying to help and trying to not suck myself, and was not succeeding at that. So it was very frustrating. You know, I was like, I'm just ready to go home. My gun won't even hit anything. But I still, you know, it was a team match, so I had to stay. So I was frustrated. So we're sitting in the, you know, awards ceremony or whatever, and they're like, all the ladies come up on stage, and they gave us all a raffle ticket. And I'm standing there like, yeah, I never win anything. Okay, whatever. You know, I'm standing there, and then they called my number, and I was literally like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was so excited.
Well, I mean, that's a perfect example. I mean, Shannon and all the people at K&M, I think that was the first match I got involved with, because I really believe in what Shannon is doing down there. And I mean, he pushes the envelope. He runs a great match. I've never shot so many stages so frequently in my life. But I'm proud to contribute to what he's doing down there. And we've always kind of brought a different angle, where initially we were doing stage prizes, and then we did, you know, an RO raffle, and then, you know, you won this last time, which is awesome. But it's we also gave necklace to Julie, because secretly she
does a lot of work. Yeah,
she makes it happen. It's a lot of balls to juggle to get a match of 400 some odd shooters going, but
I think it's neat because your diamonds pull all the women together. Like, because of that, they had every female, whether it was RO, shooter, they had us all go up on stage, and it was so cool. And like, I'm standing there thinking I'm not going to win anyway. So I'm just standing there like, man, look at all these freaking women. I mean, the whole stage was full. Like, I was in the very, very back because there were so many of us, I couldn't even see out. And I was thinking, I hope somebody takes a picture of all these women on the stage. So it's kind of cool that that prize kind of pulled everybody up there at one time. And all the women covet that. They're all like, I want to win my diamonds this year.
I mean, I think it's the growth of the sport. It's imperative that more women come out and shoot, and that they feel comfortable coming to shoot. And but the reality is, there's some serious competitors out there. It's not the growth among the women shooters is pretty substantial. I mean, it's a great thing to see. It's you know, sometimes some of these women are. I mean, look. Regina won the K&M Shooters Challenge. I mean, you know, that's massive. That's an incredible feat for any shooter. I mean, it's she definitely brings it, you know. But there's people riding right behind. I mean, look, Ella Kylberg, she's murdering it down in Texas. I mean, and she's what, 10? I mean, there's. I'm really looking forward to the future, and I think it's important that we acknowledge but put something on the table it's different, that stands out. You know, it's nice to win look, the reality is it's nice to win a rifle, but to win some diamonds is something that it's not just a prize, but it's something that can also be, you know, a family heirloom too. I mean, this is something it's generational.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a live one here that rolled in from Nathan. Is David going to shoot any ARS matches in 2019?
Well,
that's the satire that we,
you know,
American Rifle Series, right?
Yeah, that's the satire site that we talked about last week.
That's where everybody's going 2019. I heard.
I'm building the 308 specifically for it. So.
You get points for social media. I mean,
you really? Because my meme game can be pretty strong, not as strong as Nathan's.
Every post that you do after the match, you get. They had it all listed out of the different types and how many points you get for it.
So you get to make up your own shooter name?
Oh yeah, you can do whatever in this series.
That's
I thought
but there was a local match that me and Heath wanted to go to so bad because they took themselves so seriously. But you got to make up your own name, like Tactical Timmy or what. I mean, you went in with like, I don't know, it's like Call of Duty, but trying to be real life and like actually have a serious match with it. It just was.
Sounds like fun, actually.
I got nothing more play with PRS right now.
Do well.
Yeah. Sweet deal. What else we got here? Talk about some of the jewelry that you have available. I mean, obviously, you know, there's a lot of diamond necklaces, diamond earrings. There's all types of stuff. Do you sell all types of jewelry or just diamonds?
I mean, we carry everything.
Yeah.
Everything. There's something for everyone from, you know, $75 up to, you know, 6-7 figures, literally everything. You know, the name is Genesis Diamonds. We do a lot of color stones, a lot of pearls. We do silver with brands like Takori. We carry some fine watches down in some of our locations like Breitling, Tag, Omega. You know, in my store, I don't have watches yet. But, you know, we carry virtually every category of diamond jewelry, you know, from not just engagement rings, but wedding bands. Hey, Izzy, say hi. You know, tennis bracelets, pendants, fashion gold, precious color. I mean, literally everything. But what's nice about what we do is we warranty everything for free for life. No inspections like the other stores. It's a pretty straightforward process. Working with Genesis, we're pretty transparent. but we literally have everything.
Yeah, don't learn this the hard way. I applied for a credit card at one of these jewelry stores, paid that off, right? And then I got into the watch game. And it was almost like first getting your gun and then getting bit by that bug, and then you just wanted to buy every gun you kind of saw and you didn't know much about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I racked that one up pretty quick.
I mean,
it was like, it's only $1,000 watch. You know, it's $1,500. You know, $1,500. Oh yeah, sure, put it on here.
I used to buy a lot more watches before I started shooting PRS.
Yeah.
Now you don't have the money to.
No, not anymore. No.
And the best thing that happened to me is when I went to go buy a watch and it got declined. And I said, "You, sir, owe us a lot of money." And I said, "Thank you," because that was the last time. Like, then I paid it off and I was done. So if it wasn't for, I could have kept going. I would have racked that thing up because I got so into watches that every other month I wanted a new one. So,
well,
all right, don't do that.
I mean, I don't have a lot of things. I like really nice things. You know, it's like it's like with my rifles. I don't have a million guns. I don't have a million rifles, but I love my rigs the way they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a lot of money invested in them.
Yeah, they're my baby.
There we go. There was a good question here that I'm gonna skip to. Here we go. So obviously you're a diamond company supporting the gun industry, right? Or you know, shooting sports. I mean, you had the whole Nike Kaepernick, you know, controversial stance on them sponsoring him. Obviously, there's probably maybe some customers that are listening to this, or some people who see you or sponsoring those type of matches that might bring up some controversy for you. Have you noticed those things affecting the business side?
I have, in a positive sense, and not just from the PRS community, but the customers I meet and work with. We're guns themselves, you know, and it's not really. I don't look at it as a touchy subject. I look at it like some people are just misinformed or just blind to reality. I don't do politics. Okay, I don't do any of that stuff. And the reality is, I'm proud of our sponsorship of shooting events. The certificates I have from the events that we sponsored are proudly displayed in our store. And if anything, it has shown our customers who are either active or retired military or law enforcement, retired law enforcement, or any type of law enforcement community or public servant that we're not afraid to be who we are. I will never pretend, in my store will never pretend to be politically correct. And it's not an issue of it's got to be one way or this way. It's just I don't shove my judgments down people's throats, but in the same vein, I'm not afraid of them. And right. Customers who have, asked questions or, let's say it's not even raise objections, but have, been apprehensive, it's actually opened some doors and built some really good relationships through that type of communication. Because the thing is this, we live in a society today where because you and I don't agree that we have to hate each other and we have to scream and whoever screams louder wins. That's not the reality. You have a position, you have an opinion. I want to hear what you have to say, and I want you to hear what I have to say. And you know what? Oftentimes, they leave hearing and learning about something they never did. Luckily, we've been able to avoid controversy in that sense. There has been some other jewelry stores who've done some stuff like buy an engagement ring and get a free shotgun. There was a store that did that with AR-15s. I don't think that's a promotion that I will get involved with at any time soon, just because the quality of AR-15 or shotgun I'd give away wouldn't be up to my, standards. But no,
we have a jewelry store here locally that is jewelry and guns.
Yeah. And actually, he's got a pretty awesome gun collection too.
Oh yeah, he does. Some of the historical guns he has are amazing.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pretty awesome stuff. But look, we've been blessed, but I think a lot of it is because I don't look at it in terms of controversy or a problem. I look at it in terms of an opportunity. it's like there's a very small difference between poison and medicine. You can turn poison into medicine. And if someone is so firmly against guns, I mean, hell, my own family, like my parents come over and question me about having all this military grade weaponry in the house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't ever insult my guns calling them military grade.
I know, really.
Yeah.
The reality
Much better
is,
than that.
I paid way too much money for them for you to call them military.
Yeah, really.
But the reality is, it's an opportunity for discussion. It's an opportunity for an exchange of ideas, and you know what? It's we've been lucky, man. We've been lucky.
Sweet, that's good to hear. We're going to get into the discount corner portion of the show here. Try to save you money for some great companies who support the Shooter's Mindset show. Like I said, a lot of Black Friday stuff going on. Everybody's hosting a sale somewhere, thiswhere. So hopefully these discounts, if you're watching later on, will still help you out. Okay, Jen, we usually start out with you. What do you got?
Yep, you can get 10% off of shotgun shell caddies or ratchet belts or extension tubes for shotguns from Carbon Arms at carbonarms.us if you use the code TSM10. You can also get 10% off of under jerseys if you mention Shooter's Mindset, and you get an awesome jersey, or they have the new jackets, and they have sweatshirts, which is probably my favorite thing. I love my sweatshirt. I wear it all the time. So you can get those there and get 10% off if you mention Shooter's Mindset. You can also get 10% off of the Shooter's Mindset store if you use the most awesome code ever, which is Gen TSM10. Ignore any further codes that may be discussed, because Gen TSM10 is by far the best code out there. So check out the store on theshootersmindset.com, and you can get some Gear Nation t-shirts and gear. You can get some TTI stuff. So check it out.
Awesome stuff. Nikki, what do you have?
Well, if you're on the Shooter's Mindset and you at the store and you don't want to use Gen TSM10, you can try Nikki TSM10 or the replacement 10 to save 10% over there. Check out American Defense Manufacturing. You can use discount code 3GUN10. It's the number 3, the word gun, and the number 10 to save 10% off unserialized items over at ADM. Red Hill Tactical, use discount code Clevenger to save 10%. Then I have my Frenzies codes. Hit me up on Facebook or Heath up on Facebook for 20% off True Spec or 15% off Criterion barrels. And check out Dangerous But Good and use discount code Nikki DBG10 to save 10% off over there.
Boom, there we go. Jen needs a barrel sponsor if anybody's.
Yeah, I'll take a barrel sponsor. That'd be awesome, man. Those things burn out too fast. Do you have any discounts, David? I have John Zimmerman has asked on here. He said, Diamond Dave, I'm going to have to be buying a ring soon. I need a Black Friday deal. Do you have any Black Friday deals you want to talk about, or any discounts coming up with Genesis Diamonds?
Actually, for Black Friday right now, we're doing 5 years, 0% interest on everything in the store, which is pretty awesome. And then stay tuned. Later, we'll be doing up to 35% off everything in the store, special pricing for Christmas. So, I mean, every day we're out here to do business, John. Come on down, man.
Can we get these discounts online? Is there a website we can hit you up at?
We do have genesisdiamonds.net, but it's an extension of our business. We don't really do as much of the jewelry items on there. It's pretty much just engagement and bridal jewelry on there. There's just no way for us to keep up with the store inventories online, just for the volume of business. But give me a call to Cincinnati Genesis Diamonds, and mention Shooter's Mindset, mention PRS, and we'll take good care of you.
Awesome stuff. I got a couple on my end here. Shop.tacticalshit.com. TSM10's good on their website, and that might work along with their Black Friday discounts. The TaranTacticalInnovations.com. TSM10 saves you off all the parts and all the stuff they have to offer on their website. Base pads, a lot of pistol stuff over there. UMTactical.com. TSM10 saves you 10% off. UMTactical.com. Have a lot of AR-15, PCC stuff over there. And lastly, what do I have? I think that's it. from my end just to run through them. So plug those in, save some money. All right, what else we have? Jen, you had a couple of things on your end, right?
Yeah, so we talked a bit about Genesis Diamonds being a non-gun industry company that supports shooting sports. How do you think we could branch out and encourage other companies to do that? Not very many have done it. I know Joe Cayley has gotten Dr. Pepper to sponsor some things, but that's about the only one that, and I think Monster has done a few things. But how do you think we could encourage other non-gun industry, the traditional ones that do it, to maybe get involved and support us?
Well, I think a lot of that, in reality, a lot of the companies that are going to do that, unless they're a small local company, which might not understand the value in it or see the value in it, in order to get these larger brands, it has to be done on a series level. It can't be done on the individual MD. It would have to be from the PRS, whoever's running it. I think Shannon or whoever's running it right now would have to reach out to them and make a season-wide proposal in order to bring these people in, because there's no reason that we don't have an official beverage sponsor, that we don't have an official snack sponsor, because everyone loves the snacks. I mean, there's no reason we don't have these things. But it also comes down to the fact that shooters need to understand what supporting the sponsors mean. I mean, I'm in a unique category of a sponsor where I don't expect, if we have 200 shooters, to sell 200 jewelry items the next week. Okay, I don't expect that. I contribute because I want to contribute to the sport. But some sponsors, they want to see some type of an ROI, or at least some type of a social media share, or some type of a thank you. And all that has to come from the top down in terms of, procuring people outside the industry, because they might not see the value in it. It's tough for them to see the value in it. I mean, how could you think someone like Slim Jim is going to be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll send 400 pieces of Slim Jim to this because this is going to be worth our time? No, they have to see some value from the people talking about it, or, and it's kind of cliche, but a lot of these hunting shows, they have sponsorships from everyone else besides hunting products. So there's no reason we don't have it. We should have a cooler sponsor. How many times have you been to a PRS match and not seen amazing coolers in the back of these guys' trucks, whether it's Yetis or Arctics or whatever? They need to get involved, but it has to be on a uniform approach from, I believe, the top, not the MDs. And plus, the MDs have their hands full.
I agree with that.
Yep. Even on the fishing side of things, there's so many companies who are sponsoring fishing, but it'll be all over the side of the dude's boat. It has nothing to do with fishing.
Exactly. So, but that's the reality of it. I mean, right. That's kind of what it needs to be.
Excellent. We've got a couple more kind of spinning that off. What do you think about the current state of PRS and its future scoring system, match quality, or quantity?
Well, I mean, I've only been shooting PRS matches for 4 years, and I've seen a change within that 4 years. But I mean, to be quite honest, when I first got into PRS, I never felt like it'd be competitive. But now that I'm in a different position, it's very difficult to come up with a scoring system that everybody's going to love. Okay, I mean, this is the right now we're working off the percentage of the winner's score. I don't really love it, to be quite honest. You go to some of these matches and you've got your runaways. You've got some top level shooters who will just smash everybody. You've got some other situations where you can go to a match with hundreds of shooters and end up with a massive amount of points in a lower place. I'm not saying I have an answer to it. 2 years ago, it was based off of a place system versus score percentage system. I do like that system a little better. I think we should model ourselves. I'm kind of speechless on that. I think the state of the PRS it's been a rough year or two because we were promised a lot of things, a lot of talk, which none was delivered on, and it was a rough season. I mean, we had a lot of hope when it was bought out. A lot of things were thrown around, and then in the end, nothing happened. yes, there's a ton of matches now, which is amazing. It's also kind of challenging because I used to really enjoy seeing everyone come out from Oklahoma and the West Coast because they had to. There wasn't enough matches, but now they don't. So it's fragmented our already niche group. And then with the rise of NRL, it's even fragmented us further. I would love to see some sort of a conglomeration between the two organizations to bring the shooting community back together. As much growth as there is happening, it's an expensive sport to get involved in. You know, that's why I'm not so sure how much I buy into the production class, because I don't think it's possible to really take over. I think the problem is we've took too many good shooters and sent them in too many different ways. When the reality is it's about having fun. Nobody's making a living shooting PRS. Okay, nobody's getting paid to do this to a level where they don't need a job, and this should be a good time. The scoring should reflect that. I mean, granted, yes, the finale should only have the best damn shooters, but in the same vein, I could go shoot 25 matches across the year and just keep mining for points if that's something you want to do. I think the future of the PRS is great under the new leadership. I think that as long as we can execute on the ideas that we have, we'll be in a better position. I would love to see PRS jump back and take the footing. And like I said, I would love to see the shooting community come back together. It's not about ego. It's about going to matches and having a good time, drinking some beers with your buddies and, smashing steel.
Yeah. Usually you see this. You usually see, again, that's a full-time job. You usually see somebody that's working for a manufacturer or a firearms company of some sort, and those companies might fund them to shoot those matches, but in that sense, they still have a full-time job that they're not really living off the sport. Now, maybe that you can find some few niche folks, maybe like the Jerrys and the Lena, the Jerry Mikulicks and those folks.
You can count them on one hand, but even if that.
Yeah, you can count them. Yeah, you can count them on a hand, and even then, I mean, they're still, hey, you just don't show up to a match, get paid for it. I'm sure there's some back end. He's got to promote a lot of people. There's still work involved in that. So yeah, there's exactly. I really don't know anybody that you can really say that does.
No, look, I mean,
exactly.
Reality is we want to shoot. We don't want to waste our time with drama. But this is going to happen when you have a match or an organization filled with A-type personalities. Heads are gonna butt, and I don't get in the fray with it. I trust other people with more experience in terms of match direction and organizational experience to do these things, but I would like to see it return to the way it was. I mean, look, the first match I ever shot, there was no prize table. Okay, we got dinner the last night, we got some barbecue, but the match alone was enough to bring me in, and that's all I wanted. That was all I needed.
I agree with that. I just assume shoot just to shoot. I
like
getting together. I like getting together with everybody. And like at TPRC, they had a steak dinner while everybody was waiting on scores. That was awesome because everybody was stuck there, and so everybody hung out and chatted, and yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
You're feeling on prize tables. Do you really shoot matches for those?
Me? No. I don't score high enough to worry about a prize table, but like one match a year at the all ladies match, that's the only time it really matters to me because I feel like I'm actually competing against my peers where I could actually win something decent. But for the most part, no, I've made more friends, more connections, and I've, through sponsorship and stuff, I've gotten way more valuable things than I could ever pick up off a prize table. So
yeah, agreed.
I don't care.
Prize tables are nice, don't get me wrong.
They're nice.
But you can take something like, look, we have people that take prize tables and turn it into something negative that people want to bitch about. Oh, you won something and you immediately turned around and sold it. Every argument I've ever seen to support that is just complete bullshit. People want to say, oh, it weakens the brand or the image. Come on, guys. This is not Louis Vuitton. Shooters, we spend a lot of money to compete. And what we do with our prizes is our own right. That being said, I've really never been in a pole position to win those, amazing rifles. the reality is, because there's so many matches, there's in between the two series, sponsors are getting stretched. And it puts a lot of stress upon the sponsor. I come from a school of thought that something that you earn and pay for, you're going to treat a lot better than something you get for free. And
I also struggle with the fact that they try to put, the reason they're getting stretched so thin is you're trying to give everybody a prize. Like, why am I walking a prize table where winner number, or, whoever finished 200th is still walking the prize table? What? So you came in 200th out of 350, and there's still enough prizes at 200. Like, top whatever you have, make it the best that you can, and give it to the top maybe 50 if you can stretch it that much. But I don't see why. That's why at the end of the thing, okay, I walked away with some stickers and a koozie. That's not a prize to me. I don't know why we're giving everybody who came in any place a prize.
Yeah,
I agree with that too.
I mean, that person who still had to stick around for it, which I don't know.
If I'm not, I don't come in top 20 that often, and other than at the ladies match, obviously I come in a little bit higher than that, but I don't come in top 20 that often. If I'm not in the top 20, I'm gonna go home. Ain't no prize past that really worth what I'm gonna get. Plus, half the time, I am probably gonna sell it because it's a rail that I can't use because I'm sponsored by American Defense and it's a Troy rail or something like that. I can't use it. Right. So why would I hold on to it and just keep it just for whatever if I could get 5 more from American Defense? It's my thought.
Or, it's, man, the prize table talk is it's a lot of back and forth, man. It always pops up. And, you have some folks that say, well, you don't want to stick around with it. Well, why don't you just give your Troy rail to somebody else? Why don't you give your Troy rail to number 200?
I'll give it to whoever came in. I'll give it to whoever came in after me, since they're going to skip me since I'm not walking. The person who finished after me can get it.
There you go. So we could probably make a whole show on prize table talk. But let's kind of move on here.
I give stuff away to other people. American Defense at one point gave me plenty of things to give away, and I just gave them to a new female shooter in the game just because. Yeah. Just because I said, hey, ADM, I'd like some stuff to give out to a new shooter, and I found one and gave them to him. She didn't have to finish top 10. She didn't have to finish bottom 10 just because she was getting started, and I wanted to see more juniors and more females.
Boom.
I don't think it has anything to do with the prize table. If sponsors are wanting to get more people involved and get new shooters involved, just give your sponsored shooters stuff to give away.
Bingo. There's some knowledge there.
I mean, I've
gotten
some awesome stuff on prize tables, and and it's not even like the most amazing things. Like, I got a Primo shooting stick, and I love that damn thing. I mean, I shot a turkey with that with Ryan Brandt from Big Dog Steel back this past April. I mean, that experience alone, hey, that was an awesome prize. I've been to matches where I've done good. I've been to matches where I've left with a sticker. So,
and I mean, I sometimes walk the prize table and pick up things like sunglasses. I have 3 pairs of sunglasses that I got off prize tables, 2 pairs of Oakleys and a pair of Costas, because I didn't want gun stuff. I saw sunglasses, was like, I like those. Let me get some of that.
Yeah, that's Costas are dope.
I went through 2 years where all I got was backpacks.
Nice.
See, Heath will look for a freaking backpack. My husband will look for a backpack. He'll pass up all the gun parts and find another freaking book bag. Like, we need another freaking book bag.
Oh, yeah.
He'll pick up a True Spec book bag when we're sponsored by True Spec. Like, well, you can get one of these for free. And he's like, oh, I want this True Spec bag. We have one already.
Yeah.
He loves a book bag, I'm telling you.
Boom, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry.
What do you got?
I was going to ask this next question, but I have questions about this next question. So the question is, what do you think about free recoil, and what other shooters do you look up to or have influenced how you shoot? What is free recoil?
Ain't nothing free.
I don't understand. What is free recoil?
Explain it, though. I mean,
so free recoil, and please excuse my less than technical explanation, is basically having as minimal control on the rifle, and when the trigger goes off, just allowing it to ride itself.
So you take your shoulder off of it.
Exactly. So you're not really controlling the rifle, but that alone that's nonsense, because you are controlling the rifle. You're controlling your rifle, at least the way I shoot it, is with my thumb up front. I'm driving the rifle forward and down onto a bag like my pint-sized game changer. It's free recoil, or at least that type of more flexible positioning is very valuable. Look, free recoil works great if you're a bench rest shooter and you've got like a 400-pound rest and a quarter-ounce trigger. That's fine. It's just going to ride back and bump you in the shoulder. But if I'm shooting off a barricade in the wind, it's not as simple. If I can't control the rifle to some extent to see my hits or misses to make corrections, I'm in a world of hurt. That being said, there's combinations of equipment and caliber which make that style of shooting more feasible. You're not going to free recoil a 300 Win Mag. You're not going to free recoil like a 6.5 PRC or a SOM. For damn sure, I'm going to free recoil my Dasher. It's the advantage to shooting a low recoil, high ballistic cartridge is just that, is that when I do let the rifle do its thing, I can still catch, feedback. The most important thing in PRS is information. It's when you shoot to receive the information from that shot and process from there. There's a lot of people feel a lot of different ways about free recoil. Sometimes if you drive the rifle too hard in an unstable position, you're going to get a lot of wobble. So you have to find what works. Free recoil is just one tool. It's one concept. It's one technique. I know there was a lot of stuff going on recently with Philip Vallejo posting up some videos of free recoil and starting a whole new thing with that. But it's whatever. Take your phone. I don't care. Sorry, but free recoil is basically allowing the rifle to do its thing. Now, those people who are free recoil with brakes versus suppressors are going to have a totally different experience as well. I really enjoy shooting suppressed. I have a single baffle suppressor built by Silencer Tech, which is amazing. It's ported, and it recoils incredibly flat. The suppression, it's amazing for what a small package, so it allows me to do that. There's a lot of different ways to do it, though. I mean, I've seen guys who grab the top of the scope. I like to run my arm out to the forearm of the rifle and drive it forward. But free recoil and PRS and in the right bag, it's money. It's money. I mean, to answer your second question, shooters who I've looked up to and kind of, I firmly believe in modeling. Whether it's in business or in shooting, and if you see someone who's out there just killing it, there's a reason. You want to figure it out. You want to have a goal to go to. It's like when you're training for any sport, you don't train with people that are worse than you. You want to train with people that are better. I've always been very impressed, with a lot of shooters out in Oklahoma. For whatever reason, just their very casual and simple approach to everything. They don't make it over technical. They don't get crazy about new caliber. It's just a real well thought out basic approach. They've got it down. I mean, obviously, in the 4 years I've seen some guys as truly up their game. Like my buddy Matt Rooks, this kid has man. I remember when we first started shooting to where we are today. Just the mental game on top it's amazing. Shooters like watching guys like Dave Preston and Tate Streeter. These guys, they're just so smooth. When you watch them, you think they're in slow motion.
Yeah, they don't look fast at all, but they never time out. I'm like, how's that?
There's no crazy movement. It is straightforward. When they are rushing, you would never even know. Guys like my first match, I remember watching the Short Action Customs team. I mean, I had never seen a fancy jersey before. And these guys rolled up, and I was like, "Ooh, they got matching shirts." But some of those guys have just, I mean, what amazes me is that if you took any shooter today, say in the top third or top 20%, and rewound 4 years, they would murder matches. The competitive level has accelerated so fast. Guys are sending so much down range and learning wind and learning their equipment that, I mean, there's a lot of shooters I look up to. Unfortunately, for my scoring this past season, it's pretty much the damn majority of shooters I've been looking up to on the scoreboard. But I mean, and then there's guys that came out of nowhere, like John Pinch and these guys who were they're just money. I mean, it's I'm fortunate to live in Ohio where we have a lot of great shooters. So a lot of great people to train with, just good people all around. But then you got guys like Terry Cross. These are like the legends of PRS, and Brian Morgan and Shannon. I mean, these are guys. Shannon can come out and just win a match. It's just how it is. And now guys he's been shooting with, like the Allens, the 18, those guys. I mean, they're great people, but it's awesome. I love the fact that I can compete with people like this, and like the guys from Team AI. We're very lucky. We're very blessed to be able to compete in PRS. They have the freedom to do so and the opportunity. So there's a lot of shooters I look up to.
There we go. Got a couple live ones here that came in. Another one from Nathan. He says, is Cooper going to shoot a deer in his backyard with anything besides a camera?
No comment.
Yeah, really? You've had so many pictures of these huge bucks in your backyard. What's up with that?
Well, the reality is, I mean, look, he's only maybe mid-140s. He ain't worth it. I mean, maybe in 2 years.
How many did you see in the tree stand today?
2. I think if you added those two together, I might have had a 125. But the reality is, it's when we first moved out here from Ohio, we're like, oh wow, deer, they're so beautiful, and now they're really just like pigeons. They're everywhere in Manhattan. We just have some pretty good genetics walking around the backyard this year, but I'm going to feed them out and make them healthy and strong and see what we can do. There's no reason you can't keep growing. But I will not, for any reason whatsoever, ever shoot that deer.
He's going to feed him out. He's going to grow him, man.
He will die of old age, and if it happens in my yard, so be it.
There we go. Philip also commented here. He says, what's the difference between free recoil and alternative recoil management?
All right.
I don't know if you have an answer for that.
Well, no, actually, the difference is the way that I shoot free recoil, at least in my perspective, is I'm not really so much worried about management of the recoil. Oh wait, that's a come on, Philip, it's messed up, man. That's like 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Recoil management. I shoot a dasher. I don't have recoil, bro.
There you go.
You should have started with that. I'll say you should have started with that.
There we go. Hit up with this one here. Caliber trends versus classics, Indian or the Arrow.
Look, top shooters, you can give them anything and they're still going to be top shooters. Plain and simple. Every year a shot, somebody's got to come out with a new caliber that everyone jumps to, and then it's gone in a flash. And in PRS, we're all looking for whatever edge we can. I mean, granted, we're competing in a sport where 1 point is your match, okay? I think the one thing I've learned, and I've played with a bunch of calibers, I don't have 1,000 yards off my back deck to play with, so it's a lot of time involved to mess around. If you're going to run a fast 6 mil, it can be finicky. Some aren't, some are. The barrel life, everyone wants to complain about barrel life, but if you're shooting a competition rifle, you're shooting it at competitions. So it's not like you're shooting it every day, 100 rounds. So, use it for what it's good for. I myself have done the speed chasing, have done everything. And at the end of the day, my 6.5 47, no matter what I put in that rifle, shoots great. It's a classic. I mean, it's easy. It works. I think that any top shooter can still win a match with a 6.5 47. The dasher to me is just a smaller 6.5 47. I'm done chasing stuff personally. There's some cool. Don't get me wrong though. Like the guys at Blackjack Bullets with the 257, that's really awesome. You know, Clayton down to West Texas Ordnance with the 7mm saw. That's awesome too. I mean, to each their own. I think when it boils down to, you can spend your money chasing speed, buying new dies, buying new brass, or you can spend your money training. You can spend your money, you know, buying some courses down at K&M and shooting with the best, or, you know, building a 223 and getting out there and really training. It is the Indian. It is definitely not the arrow.
Oh, yeah,
So on the topic of training, like for someone starting out, like, I mean, I still consider myself starting out. I've only been doing this right at a year. I still feel like I have a ton to learn. How much, like, what's your training regimen like to get, like, in 4 years, you've really, really grown and gotten to be a very big competitor. So how much dry fire, how much live fire realistically is needed to be able to grow to the point where you are?
Well, I think that, I mean, that's a good question. You know, the thing with, and I'll kind of break it down in a few different ways. Dry firing is good. Dry firing and prone is not, in my opinion. You know, dry fire building positions. The danger with dry firing is it's very easy to build bad habits. And you end up reinforcing those bad habits. You know, if you're working with some new equipment, you know, try to get stable, put your rifle down, do some jumping jacks, do it again, get your heart rate up, do it again. I think that's the real value in dry firing. One thing that happened with my training was I got very stale. I stopped working at 100 yards and just working long distance. You got to work 100 yards. I took when I took a course. I took like one of the, I think it was the first comp course at K&M years ago, and learned a ton. And then had some success at matches. You know, I kind of got stuck. When I shot my first cap grind, my buddy's dad wanted to shoot, so I gave him my amateur spot. And then I ended up shooting a pro and did really well that year. I came in 4th in the pros. And I had some success that season, did really well. And I got kind of lazy in my training, you know, just training slow, training easy. And then what happened was a direct result was my competition shooting was slow. My competition shooting was lazy. And I actually went back down and took another course, and in the first 20 minutes of classroom blew my mind, and it changed everything. So a lot of my training regimen is I get down there, I get down, I have a range, I'm lucky, I have 550 yards where I'm allowed to practice at. So I'll go down, observe the wind, look, you know, try to take in all the environmentals, jump on a barricade. Basically, I'm going to jump onto a stage immediately. I'm going to set up a match base stage for time, go on, shoot, you know, and kind of roll from there. I'm also going to usually roll immediately back to 100 yards, shoot a 5-shot group. If my group is not tight, I'm going to figure out what's going wrong in my position. It's not the equipment, it's usually the shooter. And then shoot another group, make corrections if necessary, and then go back out. If you can't punch a bug hole at 100, you're not going to punch a bug, you know, a tight group at 500 or 1,000. You know, that if you're a half inch off at 100, that's 5 inches at 1,000, okay? And that 5 inches at 1,000, when you couple in wind, can be a lot. So it's about tightening it up, and I was taking for granted a lot of that. I don't spend a lot of time dry firing just because it's boring to me at this point. I don't have the time with my work schedule to devote to that. But what I do is I go, I'm lucky I have a membership at 100 yard indoor. So I do a lot of, you know, 100 yard dot drills, speed drills, break my position in between. I don't just lay there. You have to get up. You have to break your position. If you're comfortable when you're training, you're not training properly. I don't spend a lot of time doing follow-up shots. I send one, move on. Okay. I like to train uncomfortable. You know, it's easy to do the same routine and feel like, oh, you're on it. You know, I like to train weak side. I had trouble for years with weak side shooting, thinking that I had an offset. It was not an offset. It was just how I lined up behind the scope. I also like to train with other shooters in my area who are better than me or we're at the same level to have another set of eyes. I also think there's a lot of value to videotaping yourself when you're training. We all got tripods. put your damn camera on it and videotape yourself. You're going to learn a lot by watching the way you shoot. And train like you're in a match, okay? What's important is building that position and how long does it take you to send your first shot. When you send that first shot, what did you see? What did you learn? You know, how's your follow-up from there? Don't ever train comfortable, man. I mean, like, train that. There's always that individual, there's that middle height where you're not standing up straight and you're not on one knee. That's always the one that's going to get you. Learn your gear. Again, it's not the arrow. A lot of guys have issue, and Philip would agree with me on this, on just deploying a bipod. It's not that hard. It's very simple. Learn your equipment. It's not about buying all the best equipment that comes out. It's about learning what you have. I shot just as good, you know, with my regular, you know, stock in a 308 that I do, you know, in a lot of other situations. It's about knowing what you have.
Boom. There we go. Any upcoming matches or events coming up for you, Dave?
Season's over for now. Really looking forward to 2019 PRS in a major way. There's also some really cool equipment coming out. I can't speak too much, but XTSP has a trigger coming out. XTSP is CG Extreme, and they have a new trigger coming out for some folks like myself who shoot impact actions, who can't run the current XTSP triggers, which I'm really pumped for. I'm looking forward to getting out west next year. I want to shoot the heat stroke. It's been kind of a goal of mine for several years, and go out and visit Matt Perry, Perry Custom Gun, see the shop, and you know, that's he's built all my rifles since day one. I've never been there. I'm dying to go there. You know, I'm looking forward to next year in a major way. It's the focus I have, and also you know, one thing is 2018. I partied way better than I performed. And there's if there was only a prize table for that, man, I would have cleaned up. But unfortunately, there isn't. So I'm bringing a different game in 2019. But no, nothing yet. I mean, right now, just wrapping up the year. You know, being in retail with Genesis is our fourth quarter is very important. Unfortunately, this year I didn't shoot as many matches as I wanted to, but I spent that time at the store with my team. And one thing is, you know, most people, jewelry stores have these like negative connotations about they're going to rip me off, or they're stuffy, or, you know, whatever. It's the one thing about myself and my business is it's an exact extension of who I am. You know, you come to my store, you sit down, you have a beer, we chill out. Like there's no pressure. It's just have a good time, feel comfortable, and you know, I've got to spend a lot of time with my people, and I'm looking forward to wrapping this year out where if I could only smash it in PRS as well as we're doing in the store, it'd be a damn amazing year.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to, from, you know, someone who knows nothing about jewelry or diamonds, and, you know, usually you do get that feel when you walk into, you know, I don't know if you're going to a high-end store, you kind of get a certain feel. If you work into your local jewelry store, you get a certain type of feel. Yep. What are some of the things that, you know, someone walking in, hey, I got to, you know, I want this, to like look out for? Like, dude, am I really getting what I'm getting? Am I getting ripped off here? What is that? That's
a good question. I mean, because the reality is, look, you know, in I always draw this parallel with PRS. Is in PRS, we buy equipment and products that we know it's black and white. Like, you want to buy the best chassis, MPA chassis. You know exactly what an MPA chassis is, okay? You know exactly what it costs. You know exactly what it comes with. Diamonds are not the same. Diamonds exist in a gray area. So you have to kind of, you know, it's there's a saying, if you don't know diamonds, know your jeweler. And the thing is that it's important that you work with a jeweler who will take the time to educate you. And this is going to sound terrible, but a lot of large jewelry companies and chains, the staff isn't trained. They're only trained to sell and to manipulate you towards their own product. Okay, and it's unfortunate. The one thing is, like, you come to my store, any Genesis Diamonds, you're going to leave knowing how to buy diamonds better than most store owners. Okay, it's not about me telling you why you have to buy this green pen. because my store only has one green pen, and this is the best pen for you because green is going to write, the biggest checks, and the ink flows amazing out of here. Just listen to how well that pen snaps. This is the pen for you. No, I'm going to show you every damn pen, and every damn color, every damn price point, and you figure out what works for you. If you ever walk into a jewelry store and you feel pressured, walk out. If you ever walk into a jewelry store and they say, hey, you know what? I can get it for you. That's a scary thing. Could you imagine going to a restaurant, like a steakhouse, ordering a filet mignon? They say, hey, you know what? We're out of filet mignon. Can you come back Wednesday? We'll get it for you. You know what I mean? You're not going to go to Chipotle and order sushi, okay? They're going to say, I can get it for you? No, I don't think so. But it's also this too. When you're talking to someone at a jewelry store, they can listen, but they have to hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
You have to feel good about what you bought. Like in our world, like, look, if I want a bullet, I know exactly what bullet I'm going to buy. I know exactly what it's going to do. It's black and white. And unfortunately, this isn't. And the thing is also with any of this is the experience you have. How did you feel when you left? Were you confused? Did you feel like you were taken advantage of? Were you forced into opening a credit account that you didn't use? Shit. Okay.
I used mine
or that you did use and got into trouble.
Maxed out.
I used mine a lot.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, look, I have credit cards, but I go home and pay them off right away because I just want my points. I don't believe in debt. Look, debt has done some pretty crappy things for our country. But it's look, you have to have someone that you feel comfortable with, that you feel is listening to you, because it is a blind item. With any of this stuff. If I want to buy a Glock, I know what a Glock is. I don't need a gun store to tell me. And it's kind of funny, we have a thing in our business. It's jewelry stores and gun stores. A lot of similarities. And people that work in gun stores can agree that you will have customers that come in, they'll walk around your showcase, and they'll tell you everything that they own that you sell that they didn't buy from you. They'll touch everything, and then they'll leave. They do the same thing at jewelry stores.
Yeah. Interesting.
I go in there and look and get my rings cleaned.
But that's cool because you know what? Some stores will try to charge you for that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite ones are when I'm like looking or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, that's a really pretty ring. Would you like us to clean it?" And I'm like, "Sure, give it to him."
I'm almost weird with that type of stuff too. I just want to go back to the shop that I got it from for that.
Because you feel comfortable there.
Yeah, I don't want no one to take my shit and go to the back room and hand fuck it for 20 minutes and then come out and say, here you go, here's your diamond, thank you very much. What did you do back there, dude? I don't know,
Sounds like you're talking about TSA with your gun.
Yeah, it's like, dude, is that the diamond that really did I give you, or did you put something else in it now? Because I can't tell the difference.
I will say something in defense of my industry. You will see a lot of people saying, oh, they switched my diamond. Okay, that's bullshit. Let me tell you why. First of all, it doesn't happen in my store because it's not something we get involved with. A lot of times, guys propose to girls, and it was never a diamond to begin with.
Ooh.
Okay, we have this happen. Number two, they're trying to pull something. Okay, very few stores that risk their reputation and going to jail for that. Yes, you do have scumbags. There's tons of scumbags in every single business. Okay, call every industry there is. But the reality is, in a lot of those situations, it was never a diamond to begin with. One thing in my look, we've had situations where people have their heirloom diamonds, and they wonder why their heirloom diamonds scratch so easily. There's situations like that. But look, this is an opportunity. It's much like how we talked about before, controversy with guns. This is an opportunity to explain to someone. I will walk them to the shop with me. There's no secrets. I'll show them under a microscope. I will teach them how to tell a real from a fake, what to look for. A lot of jewelry stores get off on knowing more than people. That's pretty lame. I'm not interested in being a narcissist when I go to work. Okay, that's.
If I ever get up to Ohio, I'm coming to visit because I want to learn all that.
Well, look, if you shoot any of the big dog steel matches and you're coming up south and you're riding up 71, I'm right off of 71. We have a store about 1 hour from LRSC in Rockcastle. And then our other stores are in Nashville. I mean, come on down.
Come on down.
I like that kind of stuff. I like learning.
But I can tell you, if you did watch the CMAs, it was like the Genesis Diamond Show. We had a lot of guys, winning awards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Being in Nashville, I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah. That, you know, it was funny because when I worked, I was down the Nashville store for about 5 months. And Nashville's a great city. I didn't really listen to much country music coming from New York. You know, a lot of my friends from back home, if you told me 5 years ago what I'd be doing today, I would have told you you're on drugs. But, you know, I'd be in the store and these guys would come in and I had no idea who any of them were. And just treat everybody the same, honest and open and have fun. And to find out later that they're like a platinum recording artist, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the best way.
It happens in the gun shop when I work at. I mean, all these rappers come in. I have no clue who the fuck they are, though. None. No.
See, I wouldn't know who they are. I wouldn't know who the country guys are.
Yeah. No, these rappers come in here and they're like, dude, they leave the store. You're like, you know who that is? I'm like, dude, I have no idea. And then they start playing it on YouTube, their video, and that dude. You know, but
I probably wouldn't know if it was rap after the year 2000, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, it seems we don't get too many country stars.
Rap isn't the same after 2000 anyway.
Right. Yeah.
If Cash Money Records isn't taking over for the 99 and the 2000, I know nothing.
Right. There we go. Yeah, that's sweet. Tony says Team Clevenger is on Pittsburgh represent.
Go Steelers.
If I can't use my Glock, I won't try the sport. Glock needs a precision rifle. There's one's opinion.
Glock needs a precision rifle?
That's kind of a leap.
Yeah, it's kind of a leap. But, you know, a lot of people have been waiting for Glock to push a 1911 for years now. So keep waiting, buddy. It's never going to come.
But Glock's work. Why would we want to do that?
Yeah.
Not really.
Exactly. I don't know. Well, there it is. I think we're pretty much good unless you have any live on your end, Jen. I think we're good to wrap this one up.
No, I don't have any. We're good.
All right. Let's shut this one down. The shout outs. Jen, start us off. What do you got?
All right. Prime Ammunition, as always. Awesome ammo. So glad I get to actually be with my family and not have to take time to reload because I would never get to shoot. Night Force Optics, Lansing Tactical, GSL Suppressors. Eventually my can will get out of jail one day soon, hopefully. Under Industries, Shooters of Augusta and Sharpshooters of Augusta. Patriot Cases. I think that's all.
Nikki, what do you have?
I have some really great sponsors, but I'm not going to shout them out this show. What I want to shout out are 3 really great organizations that I've been kind of getting involved with and trying to help where I can. Coming up on the year anniversary of when Heath was involved in his officer-involved shooting, and we lost Detective Mike Doty. From that incident, a group here created the 809 Foundation. You can check them out at 809foundation.org. They support causes that were important to Mike Doty, such as substance abuse prevention and treatment, youth mentoring, and community unity, including supporting law enforcement. Also from the tragedy came an organization called Hungry Heroes. You can check them out at hungryheroesbbq.com. They are feeding first responders, one agency at a time. They serve barbecue with a thank you to police, fire, EMS, and military. And they've served over 500 agencies so far since being created in April. And that all came out of the tragedy in January. One organization this last organization, I haven't been able to get too involved in, but I really like to see them come on the show. As you guys know, Mike from Eagle Imports and Rob Pincus have started an organization called Walk the Talk America. You can check them out at walkthetalkamerica.org, and their goal is to raise awareness and inspire positive change between the mental health industries and the firearm industries. So they're doing some really great things for the firearms industry in regards to mental health. So definitely check them out at walkthetalkamerica.org. Sweet.
Yeah, we need to get Mike on the show. I've been thinking about him for for a couple of weeks now. So I just need to reach out. It's just we're booked all the way to SHOT Show, so we will get. I usually like to take January easy because usually companies last minute like to get in there. So we will have him on here shortly. There's a live one that came in lastly, and then we'll finish up wrapping up what we have as far as sponsors.
So Philip wants to know if you love Kiki.
Look, I got the moves, all right?
You did the Kiki challenge, man? It's on video somewhere?
Oh, wait. Everybody's waking up and sending me stuff. How does Cooper brine a turkey? That's from Rooks.
It's waiting for it to cool off. It's on the stove. That's terrible. And I do love Kiki.
There we go. Jen, we hit your shout-outs. Nikki, we hit yours, right?
Yep. We're down to you and David.
David, what do you got? Shout-outs, man.
I got a bunch. First one goes to Rooks Precision and Tactical Dairy, Clifton and Reeser Precision, Matt Perry of Perry Custom Gun, Masterpiece Arms, one of the best out there, Extreme Shooting Products XCSP with Tom, Impact Precision, best actions on the market, Silencer Tech, Knife Force Optics, Big Dog Steel, Bullet Central, and Broken Rack Archery out in Batavia, Ohio, and Pure Perfection Strings. Genesis Diamonds.
There we go.
Woohoo! Like those right there.
For real. A couple on my end here. If you're watching on the YouTube side of thing, definitely yellow button right below the video. Hit that. That's a subscribe button. Every Tuesday at 9 Eastern, we're doing a new episode of The Shooter's Mindset featuring another great guest. Definitely the folks at Tactical Shit for all their support. Shop.tacticalshit.com is their website. Take a look if you're shopping around. Folks over at Tandemkross.com for all your rimfire 22 pistol needs, also rifle needs. Check out Tandemkross for some parts. If you want to email me, theshootersmindset@gmail.com is a good way to do that. Definitely thanks to David for coming on here and spending 2 hours of his time here. Appreciate that.
Way past my bedtime, bro.
Yeah. And lastly, the folks over at TaranTacticalInnovations.com. That'll do it for episode 243 of The Shooter's Mindset, guys. Have a good night. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. America.
We'll see you on the next one. All right. Bye-bye now.
Good night.